This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
This portion of Lee Pitts Live is brought to you by Hodges University, celebrating 25 years of educating Southwest Florida.
Welcome back, Southwest Florida. We're so thrilled that you guys stayed with us here as we continue to come to you from the Children's Network of Southwest Florida, one of America's great child care, foster parenting, adoption agencies, and we're just so fortunate to have them here in Southwest Florida under the leadership of Nadare Saline. We're so thrilled to have a police officer here, a role model.
How are you, sir?
Good. The corporal is here, Corporal Kelvin Thompkins of Cape Coor Police Department. You know, when we were children, police came to the school. We were so happy to see the police officer. We wanted to grow up and be police officer. Were you one of those kids, or you just looked up one day and you were a corporal?
I came into this a little later in life. Once I finally decided what I wanted to do, this was it.
Okay, did you do the military thing first?
I was in the military years ago, did some other things in between, and this is where I finally settled in.
And you've done some substantial amount of years now. You getting up on retirement?
Yes, 22 years as of today.
What have you liked and what have you not liked about your job?
This job has many, it's multifaceted. It has a lot of things you experience that others understandably shouldn't and don't. But it's had many rewards as well, helping the public, helping people in need. Always a good thing.
You're the District Resource Coordinator. What does that mean?
District DRC for short. We're attached to the Patrol Division of the Cape Coor Police Department. And essentially what we do is we handle problems outside the scope of what the normal patrolman would be able to handle. Mm-hmm. If I'm given a task, I'm given all the time necessary to handle that problem.
That's a good thing?
Absolutely.
For example?
Yes. Anything from neighborhood dispute, dispute between property owners over boundary lines. It could be any number of things.
Okay, so your day is always exciting. You never know what's going to come across your table.
Always exciting, always different.
You know, is it like you see something? You ever see something like it's like you live long enough, you see you hear and see everything.
In this job, you experience it all and then some. Yes.
What? Having said that, scams. What are some of the scams that we should be aware of in Lee County that come, especially in the holiday season?
One of the main scams, not only holiday season but throughout, is a check scam. And what happens is they'll make contact with someone or over some of the various websites, and they'll appeal to them that they need their assistance in handling some issues for them. Normally they say they're out of state or whatever. And what will happen is they will send that person a check and ask them to deposit that check, use some of the funds to handle their problems or their bills or what have you. And they're supposed to, for their services, they're allowed to keep a certain percentage. And then they send the other portion back to the original check owner or check writer.
Amazing. Now, what should a citizen do to prevent that from happening to them?
Well, it's the proverbial, if it's too good to be true, scrutinize it, take a look at it. Ultimately, anytime someone asks you to do something of that nature, question it without a doubt, bring it to the police department, and let us tell you if it's legitimate or not. 99.9% of the time, it's not.
Now, when I talked to Bert Conley, your chief, City of Cape Coor Police Department, and whenever I started to talk about crime in the Cape, I always said, man, there's no crime really happening in the Cape. It's just so easy going, but that's not necessarily the case. What are some of the common crimes that we will see in Cape Coor?
The main crime of any nature to be concerned with in the Cape is primarily property crimes. People's cars being broken into, homes being burglarized, things of that nature.
When we're in a place like this, the Children's Network of Southwest Florida, where they're involved in adopting, getting children adopted, finding foster parents for them, how does that kind of service help law enforcement?
It gets those children that may be in need of services, which I encounter many, into a place where they can be helped, get some guidance, not only for them, but immediate need, but for the future. It's huge.
Huge help. Okay. Yes. How can we residents minimize the chances of us being victimized?
There are many things you can do. One is just, if you don't want someone to take it, lock it up.
Just that simple.
It sounds very simple, but
people still don't do it.
Coral, in my city and throughout Lee County. People don't do it.
That's amazing. Now, during the holiday season, we have shopping going on. We have people putting gifts in the back seat of their cars, all kind. Just in the holiday season in general, what are some things we should be mindful of?
Well, not only when you're making the purchase, and I'll start there, when you're making that purchase, you make sure that you hide away whatever it is that you purchased. So many people, especially with SUVs, they put things in the back, all in the back window where anyone walking past can see those things. You do the obvious, you try to cover them up as much as you can. If you're doing a lot of shopping, if you can, have someone else take those things home for you at the time of the purchase. And it even goes beyond that because during this time of the year, so many of the big box items, televisions, things of that nature, the purchaser, once Christmas is over and the TV's set up inside the house, first thing that happens is the box goes out to the curb.
Okay.
If I'm a criminal and I'm driving through your neighborhood, I can see everything that you purchase. I know that you got a new television, new computer, all those things inside your house. That makes you a target. So in lieu of doing that, take those boxes, cut them up, put them inside your recycle bin.
Very good. Never thought about that, man. Simple stuff like that can make the big difference. What are you hearing from the people in Coor in terms of what their concerns are during this time of the year?
The main thing is just being, their concerns are making sure that they're going to be safe throughout their daily activities. They ask us what we can do for them. I'm also a crime prevention specialist, so this is my forte. I just tell people to mainly keep an eye on their surroundings. If something doesn't look right,
good,
react to it and deal with it. When you're going to and from your car, be aware of who's around you. See if someone's watching you while you're going about your daily activities.
What's the phone number they can call?
Non-emergency number, 239-574-3223. And of course, the old standby, which is 911. When in doubt, 911 always works.
When they call those numbers, particularly that first one you gave, will they have to give their eyes, if they want to like report something and nobody knows who they are, they have to give their name and all of that?
You can always be anonymous, no matter what you're reporting. That protects them, and it also gets us to where we need to be.
So let's say I call in, this is the last question, I call in and I want to report something, and the person on the other end, dispatch or what have we, start asking me all those questions, I can just say, I prefer to be anonymous?
Absolutely,
and
that's all it takes.
And they cool with that?
That's all it takes.
Okay, man. That's good information, Corporal. Well, thanks for coming in here, man.
You're very welcome.
Hope to see you in the future as well, okay?
Thank you for having me.
Stay right there. As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like this good corporal and all the fine people at Coor Police Department who are doing it. Be sure to join us next week on the award-winning Lee Pitts Live. We'll see you.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.